Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So if you keep cattle on your farm, you know one of the biggest problems that you have, especially as we're getting into spring, summer, and fall, is going to be flies and fly control. Well, we think we figured out how to help manage and hopefully control our fly problem on our cows. And all it takes is about 13 2x4’s. Hang out with us and let's show you how. All right, y'all, here it is. This is our latest creation. This is actually the fourth Eggmobile that we've built, but since it's a little smaller, we probably could call it Eggmobile 3.5. So this is an old trailer. We bought this last year. Fella here locally had it, used to haul a ditch witch around on it, sold his ditch witch and was ready to get rid of the trailer. Pretty rough shape, so we got a decent buy in it. So it's actually been here for about a year now. So we're finally going to get to work on this project. 8 foot by 5 foot, typical landscape trailer size that you see in the parking lot down at Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, that kind of thing. So if you've got an 8 foot by 5 foot trailer, or you can find one that doesn't have a floor in it, you really don't want one with a floor because you want the manure to go through. We'll show you how we're going to manage that here in just a few minutes. But if you can find one of those trailers, perfect little Eggmobile for your operation. This is going to be the piece of equipment that actually does follow our cows around on the pasture. You know, we got that big Eggmobile that we built about a year ago. It's just too big and too top heavy to put on some of the hillsides that we've got. This thing's going to be real low slung. I think we're going to end up, it's going to be about 2 feet tall off the frame. And we'll be able to pull it around with the side by side. That'll work out really good. And we can actually follow the cows with this and let the chickens scratch around for the fly larvae and spread the manure pats and that kind of thing out and get some good pasture fertilization. So excited to see how this thing's going to work. So I think it's time to get to work, see what we can do with this thing. Man, that thing's ugly, ain't it? Y'all hang out, let's see if we can get this thing built. Somebody telling my title in my last video was misleading. Something left to do with it. Go back over there to that guy. I don't know that I want to go back over there. I thought he was 5 foot. Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna work on this some more. Yeah, I'm gonna put these corners in. Oh shoot, I forgot this is a 2x2. I guess I'll only be putting one screw in it.
covered up my pilot hole. Missed it again. Finally got it. So Joel's Eggmobiles are like this, right?
All right, so we took the frame off of the trailer so that we could do a little bit more work. It was kind of hard doing stuff on that trailer with it sitting on that trailer. So we've built basically built the top frame that goes on, and then we're going to build a lid using these vinyl roofing panels that we get at Lowe's, like 19 bucks a piece. These things are great for a little bit of everything. Lightweight, and they work fantastic. Got the chicken wire installed, and then up here in the front there's going to be a flip down door that'll also serve as the ramp for the chickens to walk up. And then back here in the back we're probably going to mount some nest boxes on the inside, and then we'll cut the chicken wire so that we can access the nest boxes from outside and not have to raise the lid or go in there unless there's a dead chicken or you need to get in there for whatever purpose. So I think this is going to work out pretty good. Planning on, I think, about 40 birds will be all that this will want to handle, and we'll probably have some field feeders and some drinkers out on the ground for them. We'll just have to figure that out whenever we kind of get to it. But getting close on this. We're going to build the lid, get it on there, get the front on, and we'll get this thing back on the trailer. But coming along nice.
Don't be backing people now.
So I've banned that lady in the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just went and hit her calling. Got him out. She said something real. I said right little laying hen around the yard in.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, but this would work for the same kind of course, you could do bigger groups. So this is kind of an intermediate step.
Yeah, yeah.
Drip up. I've got it in somewhere. All right, here it is, semi-done. The only thing left really is mounting the nesting boxes. JW's going to build those. We'll talk about nesting boxes here in a minute, but he's going to build those. But show us around this thing. What all we do here?
Oh, so we put it on a 5x8 trailer, pretty lightweight frame, so you can just pick the tongue up, attach it to the buggy. In the front here, got a lift up lid with a prop stick that we can put in place, so you can reach in here, and we'll have the nest boxes back here that you can access to grab eggs and if you need to get in here and work on anything.
Put a nice little handle on it right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Around at the back, we've used a small piece of plywood. It serves as both a door and a ramp. The floor inside the Eggmobile Mini is a 1x1 hardware cloth, and that's small enough that the birds can still walk on it, large enough for the poop to all fall through. Overall dimensions on this are about 5 foot by 8 foot, so we think we can put about 40 birds in here. I think that's what you said.
Yep. And we did fasten the lid on with a couple of hinges, so we don't have to try to lift the lid off and on. It just hinges up and down, and that makes it really nice. I think we're going to have to be real diligent about closing these up at night. We're not going to be using any netting or any fencing around these birds. It's just going to be, they're just going to be free range, and they'll be following the cows, what, about 3 days?
3 days behind the cows.
About 3 days behind the cows. So we'll have to come out at night, make sure that we're actually closing them up, because if not, I'm afraid that they'll be ripe for the picking for, you know, skunks and possums and raccoons and minks and some of that kind of foxes, that kind of thing. So we're going to make sure that we get them closed up every night. And this is how we're going to control our flies. You know, we're going to be using these chickens to go through, scratch through the cow pats and eat the fly larvae, and that keeps us from having to, you know, pour ivermectin on them or give them fly medicine, that kind of stuff, because you know, you don't want that on your cows to start with. And then also the dung beetles, it'll kill the dung beetles, and you know, we want those dung beetles to be carrying that manure down deep into the soil, so that we're kind of building the biology in the soil. Material list, what all did we end up using on this thing?
So we used 13 2x4 8-foot long pressure treated boards. Some of them we kept whole for the bottom down here, and then the rest of them pretty much we ripped in half to make 2x2's. So 13 of those. We used about 25 foot of 2-foot tall chicken wire to go around the sides. About 20 foot of the 1x1 hardware cloth for the bottom. 3 pieces of this PVC roofing material that comes from Lowe's. It's about 2 foot wide by 8 foot long. We used 3 sheets of that. Then for the door, this was all scraps that we had. The hinges, we already had those laying around. So that's pretty much it, other than the nesting box, which we can build that probably out of about a 4x4 sheet of plywood. So.
And we were talking a while ago, I think I paid, you were with me, about $150 for the trailer.
Yeah.
$150 for the trailer, and then the materials at Lowe's. Now granted, you know, we had the screws, we had a couple of scrap hinges, we had, you know, the little hook and eye latch. I think I spent right at about $205 on materials on this thing. So again, this is going to be a whole lot cheaper than buying gallons of ivermectin and pouring it on your animals and kind of destroying the biology in your soil. And you know, we'll run these chickens out there and we'll get eggs in return. I think we'll still continue to get plenty of eggs out of them. They're going to be, like I said, they're going to be free range, and just following those chickens along, or following those cows along. So we're excited to get this thing out. I think we'll probably have it out in about a day or two. We still got to get the nest boxes built. I think we're going to have chickens that are going to be volunteering for this duty, to get out and ride around and see a little bit more of the farm. We started to put some 12-volt party lights around the edge of this thing. Y'all that watch Troy McClung over at Red Tool House, a friend of ours, Troy built a chicken church. Well, we were going to go with the antithesis of that and have like a chicken nightclub out here with party lights, maybe a jukebox, open bar, you know, all that kind of thing. But no, I'm just kidding. We like old Troy. He does some good stuff over there. But anyway, Eggmobile Mini, brand new invention here on the farm, low slung. Excited to put it to work. All right, there it is, 13 2x4's later, and we've got an Eggmobile Mini. And like I say, I think these chickens are going to really help with our fly control. Excited to see how that's going to work. Me and JW were talking a minute ago. We really like this thing because this is not a Polyface design. It's not a Greg Judy design. It's not a John Siskovich design. This is something that we've come up with here on the farm. JW came up with the design and built this, and it's uniquely ours. So excited to put this thing to work. And we'll do a follow-up video on this in a couple of weeks, show how it's working, talk about some of the pros and cons and what we find is wrong, what we need to fix, and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.
Okay.